Alright everybody, so I'm going to scrap a hard drive today. Um, this came out of a computer. As you can see, it hadn't been opened or touched yet. This looks like a Barracuda. Seagate Barracuda 80 gigabyte. So we're going to rip that apart, and I'm going to show y'all a little something else before we tear into it. Y'all hang loose. Alright, so starting off, this is an old, well, what's left of tape player for a vehicle. This is the main board off of it. So when it comes to electronics, being around fireplaces, smoking, vaping, anything that puts stuff into the air tends to make them fail. And if you look at this one, I think the lighting's good enough. You can see all around through here. So this is kind of the front edge. You see all that? It looks kind of like dust, but it's not really dust. So all this nasty stuff gets on your components in there, and it bridges from terminal to terminal, two different ones, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore. So that's why you don't want to be smoking in your vehicle, especially these new ones. All the electronics that are in them, you're just shortening the life of basically everything in the vehicle. This is basically torn down. These are gold pins. I'm going to pull these, cut these off, pull this transformer and these two chips off the back, and that's going to be it for that. But I wanted to show you all that stuff in there. It's all the same stuff that gets up, coats on your windshield and all. So with that said, see if we can't tear apart this hard drive here. These things can be kind of tricky. Most of the time they're not too bad, but they tend to use at least two different types of screws. And they normally like to hide one too. That's probably going to be it right there. Yep. And so some guys say this goes as stainless instead of regular scrap. I don't really know about that part because I haven't messed with stainless too much. Right now I'm in a battle with a few different yards trying to figure out, who will pick up what and who takes what and stuff like that, so I know how and where I'm going to take things. But overall, whoever will do the best for me is probably where most of my stuff is going to go. I don't care if I have to drive 50 miles to get there. I don't like people that are trying to rip people off. So with that said, that's part of what I'm working on now, because I've got a lot of circuits and circuit boards and different things torn down. I've got a bunch of big stuff over on the farm. A whole lot of everything everywhere. So this is your circuit board. This circuit board right here is sold by weight. It is its own category from Board Sort. You can fill up a whatever size, if it fits, it ships box and ship it to them up in Ohio. And they'll drop a check in your account for it. So just this board has its own category. And as you can see, it's gold fingers on it here. It's got a few IC chips, flat packs, stuff like that on there. But they're by weight, so I don't take any of it off. So that's one item. So a lot of these have gold from here to here on the back. And if you look over here, this is gold. When you get on the inside, this will pop through on the other side. So the small gold items here, and not all of them are in a big, plastic sleeve like that. A lot of times it's just a like a ribbon cable, and it'll have a couple dots of gold on the ribbon cable, and some gold sometimes here or here. But this right here, I'll cut this off probably about right here, pull those gold pins out and drop them in the gold pin section. It looks like it's everything off the back, so let's see if we can get it to open. Find out if I missed another screw or not. It's normally just one hiding, but sometimes it's more than one. Alright, so like I said, a lot of people say this is stainless. It still goes with my regular scrap. One day I may change that. So this is the piece that goes through to the other side that I showed you those gold pins on. So it's got screws in it. Easiest thing to do once you get those screws out is just push it on the other side, and it'll pop right out because it's sealed to keep this airtight. So it's got a seal on there so it sticks a little bit. Come through here. This is your magnets, if I'm not mistaken. They're neodymium magnets. They are nice and strong. So people will buy these from you online by the box full. So I keep these separate. This is your hard drive disk. Most of the time there's just a screw in the center. But sometimes there's 3 or 4 screws running around outside to hold it in. So this normally will turn out the way. If you get it just perfect, your disc will drop right out. So this right here is actually a motor in the center. So in order to sell this as cast aluminum, you got to punch that motor out and get it out the way. Quite often there's a screw in the back side of this holding this in place. I normally just push something up underneath it, and twist and break it, and then it'll come right off of there. That's your reader. And the other side of the neodymium magnet, you see it keeps grabbing hold of the screwdriver there. And most of the time the bits for these screws are, what are they, T5 I believe is the size, star bit T5. So these magnets, I'll take them and put them back together, like so. and that's basically it for the teardown. Now, like I said, if you want to sell this as aluminum, you've got that motor in the center. You have to go on the back side and punch that motor out, get it out the way. And you can drop that over in your motors. So we'll set this aside. These, it's your hard drive disk. So these have precious metals in them. BoardSort pays you by weight for these. So don't go throwing them away. You know, I try not to bust them. I try to keep them in one piece. But this is what normally causes most of the problems when you go to trying to get hard drives from people. Because this contains people's information. It might have bank account, it might have pictures. Some of us get crazy and, you know, with cameras in the bedroom or whatever. So this could have anything on it. So this is what they want to protect. And they all tell their customers, oh, well, you know, we'll throw it away, we'll make sure it's properly disposed of so nobody can get your information. So normally when I get these, they've already pulled one side off and they've scratched it all up. Y'all should be able to see the scratches in that. That way you can't get the information off of there. Sometimes that's not the case. So I mean, technically the way I got this hard drive, I could plug it up and pull the information off of it. I don't want to though. I don't care what people's information is. When I was born, I was taught or raised, your bond is your word and what you say. So I let them know that any of these that I get, if they're not already scratched, I will scratch them. I'll mess them right on up. Make sure nobody can get any information off of them. Even though I know BoardSort is going to take care of it. Because they strip them and everything else. But because I told them I'm going to make sure, I'm going to make sure. And you don't have to put deep scratches in it, but just scratch it up. So ain't no reader going to read it very well or very easy, you know. And that protects everybody's information. And BoardSort pays by weight on these. So I've got a box over here on the corner of the table that actually holds both of these in it. One on one side and one on the other. And as I said, people buy these online from you. It's your magnets. So I've got a container I drop those in. The little golden pins, they're going to go with the rest of my golden pins and we'll cut them out of there. Which leaves you with this. So I set all these aside. One day I'll get around to cleaning them up. Right here you've got a little ring of copper. Most of the time it's copper. Sometimes it's aluminum. But most of the time it's copper. All you have to do is grab it and twist it. It comes right out of there. Like I showed you before we opened it up, gold pins on this connector here. BoardSort will buy any of your computer connectors that have gold in it. You've got this right here, which is your computer wire, basically. Can't remember the correct name at this moment in my life. And then there's normally, right down the side, a little line of nice pure gold. It's a little thin wire that goes down to the reader head, and the reader head normally has gold as well. So I don't throw these away. Decent source of gold. Sometimes on the ribbon wire, that's what it was. Sometimes on the ribbon up here where the chip is, there's some more gold. So I've got a pile of these right here that I keep separate from everything else. These I check to see if they're magnetic. If they are, then they go to the scrap. If they aren't, then Yep, see. So that's scrap. It's not aluminum. So toss that right over there. I think for the most part they're aluminum, but they have a little bit of other metal in them, and I'm not gonna split hairs just to try to make $1. So I'll just toss it in the scrap. I don't want to make nobody mad. Little pins here, they're pretty easy to do. So I mean, this is just trash. And then you just break this plastic apart and the pins will come right out. Or you can probably bend them and grab them with pliers and pull them out. It all depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. A lot of times I'll grab them from the big side. It'd probably make more sense. And there they are. That is 3 of them. You just pull all 3 out like that. Drop them over in with everything else. Anyway, y'all get your point. So that concludes this video. Any questions, drop it in the comments. I'll be glad to get back to you and help you out if I can. Hope y'all have a great one, and we'll see you next time.